Supporters of the so-called Islamic State are celebrating today after gunmen seized a major military airfield in northern Syria. This is a video posted online reputedly showing jihadists driving through the streets sounding their horns in celebration. The Dabqa airfield is now the third military base seized by extremists in the last month. The video comes amid reports that the United States is now considering carrying out airstrikes on Islamic State targets in both Iraq and Syria. David Gartenstein-Ross is a senior fellow at the Foundation for Defense of Democracies and joins us now in Washington. Mr. Ross, thank you, sir, for being here.
My pleasure.
What do you make of this opportunity for the U.S. military to go after ISIS in not just Iraq, but also in Syria?
I think it's positive. I think that you can't look at ISIS as just operating in Iraq. Syria has been a stronghold for them for some time, and they still derive enormous strength from the fact that they're fighting in two countries, not just one. But airstrikes alone are not a strategy. You have to have a much more comprehensive strategy than just hitting them from the air.
Yeah, help us out with what that comprehensive strategy might be, because we have this bizarre situation now where the United States is supporting a government in Iraq against extremists who are in fact the rebels in Syria, and the government of the United States opposes the sitting president in Syria. So how do they rationalize all this nuance in these two countries together into one comprehensive policy?
Right. It's a complex situation. The U.S.'s position is that ISIS does not comprise the bulk of the rebels in Syria. And there's some good justification for the U.S.'s position. ISIS has spent more time fighting against other rebels than it has against the Assad regime. And if you look at what strengthened ISIS, the fact that Assad didn't really go after them during a lot of the early going, and in fact released members of ISIS from prison, has helped that organization to become this powerful. But ultimately, it is a very delicate situation, and I do think the U.S. needs to think through its Syria policy. Is it sustainable to be anti-ISIS and try to get non-state rebels who are jihadists from getting weaponry and money, while at the same time maintaining a policy that the Assad regime has to go? Personally, I think that that's not a sustainable set of positions. Now, you asked about what the strategy is, and it's not clear that the U.S. It's not clear what the U.S. strategy is, or if it's been fully thought through. But the very best strategy, in my view, is the Islamic State has a lot of weaknesses. It's made its own members commit grave atrocities, which certainly produces some dissension within the ranks. It's angered everyone who's trusted it by betraying them. It's surrounded by enemies, and basically making sure that it loses momentum, which the airstrikes have already helped to accomplish, that it loses ground, and that these weaknesses are brought to the fore is the way to significantly weaken this organization.
Sir, if you wouldn't mind a quick answer here, are you confident that intelligence people will find the killer of James Foley?
Can't say I'm confident, but I think it's likely that they will.
Thank you very much. We appreciate your time today. David Gartenstein-Ross is in Washington. Thanks very much.
My pleasure.